Chainsaw Man only sold less than 1,800 VDs for its first volume. How bad is this for the series, and will this cancel Season 2 of Chainsaw Man? Well, let's define it. For those of you young viewers out there who don't know what a BD is, don't worry, it's not an explicit term. BD stands for Blu-ray disc, a physical disc that contains a digital copy of an anime. Think of it as Netflix, but in this form it only contains 4 episodes and costs 10 times the amount of the monthly subscription. So why is this bad for Chainsaw Man anime? And especially for MAPPA, the studio behind it. I mean, you might argue that BDs are not the primary way of consuming anime anymore. And you would be right, because streaming is a thing right now. As reported by Nikkei Asia, the market size for the streaming anime grew to roughly 70%, making around 150 billion yen or around 1 billion US dollars. Aside from that, this graph reported by the Association of Japanese Animation shows that streaming actually helped increase the market size for anime beginning in 2006 and growing substantially as shown by the blue bar. So there shouldn't be any concern about the BD sales, right? Well, not exactly. Since streaming services cost a lot to maintain, not all of this revenue would go to the studio, namely MAPPA in the case of Chainsaw Man. How much do they earn exactly? Well, it is actually an industry secret. But some producers have stated that streaming services will pay a minimum guarantee of around 250,000 US dollars to 400 US dollars per episode per big titles like Chainsaw Man so they can get a license to stream it on their platforms. But the studio won't get all of that money, and it sometimes trickles down to a 40% cut or less. Again, there are a lot of factors when it comes to the business between streaming services and anime studios, and most of them remain a secret from the public. Fortunately for MAPPA, they are the sole production committee of the Chainsaw Man anime, so they will most likely get all of the production profits. But the BD sale is too important to ignore because it is a huge profit for the studio itself that guarantees a 55% net revenue. So who is to blame for MAPPA's failure to sell Chainsaw Man? Is it the big streaming services? Well, no. While the BD sale is in fact in decline, it doesn't stop animation studios from generating revenues because anime titles like Licorice Recoil sold more than 20,000 units of its Volume 5 for the first week. And Pochita Rock, proving that it is the GOAT, sold more than 17,000 units of its Volume 2 in 1 week, which I have to make a video about that in the future. So what exactly is the reason for Chainsaw Man's low BD sale? Well, going back to the graph provided by the Association of Japanese Animation, the orange bar that represents the BD sales is mostly composed of diehard fans of the series who spent tons of money to buy the disc. I mean, come on, BD volumes are expensive. They cost almost the same as a AAA game. Give me a break. So for these diehard fans not to purchase the BD of Chainsaw Man means that they did not appreciate the anime adaptation made by MAPPA, which tells us a lot of things. If you remember back in December 2022, there was a petition to remake Chainsaw Man for reasons that it was too cinematic. And the rookie director Ryo Nakayama even closed his Twitter because of the harassment from so-called fans. And I know what you're thinking. They are dumb idiots. But their reasoning stayed the same as to why they want to remake Chainsaw Man, and they made their voice louder as seen by the Chainsaw Man's low BD sale. Checking the Amazon store where the Chainsaw Man Blu-ray disc is being sold by MAPPA, we can actually see the polarizing review. Now, most of the negative reviews stated the same reasoning as the petition to remake Chainsaw Man. Like, the anime was not faithful to the manga, the anime was too cinematic, Aki is depressed and should not be seen drinking coffee. Wait, what? So if you're depressed and traumatized, you're not allowed to drink coffee anymore? So does the low Blu-ray sale of Chainsaw Man boils down to dumb, angry fans that are not satisfied with the adaptation? Well, as it stands now, yes. They actually made sure to vote with their wallets. But of course, their actions are not justified, especially with the harassment that they made. I mean, it's actually ironic how Fujimoto-sensei, the mangaka of Chainsaw Man, actually stated that he wants to have the anime to have its own unique direction because he wasn't able to fully capture the cinematic direction that he intended for the manga. But what does this mean for the future of Chainsaw Man? Will MAPPA not create a season 2? Again, Mappa still made money with Chainsaw Man and they are really passionate about it. I mean, come on, they made 12 different endings for each episode. But this can also mean that they will have a lower budget in adapting Chainsaw Man. But how much exactly is the budget for making an anime? Well, that's a future video by yours truly. And how about you guys? Were you shocked that the Chainsaw Man might be the biggest letdown when it comes to anime Blu-ray sales? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you like more anime content like this, then make sure to subscribe to Otaku Defined and hit that like button with the same amount of force as Denji does when kicking the family jewels. Laters!